welcome to coverage of the Toyota Owners 350 at Richmond for race 9 of 20 for the Verizon NASCAR Cup Series. Quick race today, second short track in a row. Last one was at North Carolina, Rockingham. Command to get the engines fired. And we are ready to go. So the starting lineup for today's race: Daniel Suarez on pole with Chris Buescher to his outside. And the rest of the field we have Bowman third, DeBenedetto fourth, Reagan fifth, Larson sixth, Bowyer seventh, Castle eighth, ninth Hamlin, 10th Keselowski, 11th Johnson, 12th Truex, 13th Kligerman, 14th Harvick, 15th Byron, 16th Stenhouse, 17th Blaney, 18th Jones, 19th Elliott, and 20th Almirola. Daniel Suarez about 49 points behind Kevin Harvick entering this race. He will lead us to the restart zone. We are green in Richmond. The green flag is in the air. And whoa, the 88 got into the 41 coming off of the corner. Side by side for the lead down the back straightaway. No crashes yet. Going into turn 3. Bowman really aggressive, trying to get those points. Contact in the back. More contact. How did they save that? Bowman leads lap 1, 3 wide for third. Scramble between the front cars. Reagan into second. Suarez dropping like a rock as more are clumping up behind trying to find room. They almost wrecked just a couple moments ago. 3 wide in the very back of the field. Bit of lag going into the corner there. Off of turn 2. Castle clear for third. Still 3 wide in the back. Dibby trying to make it 3 wide on Larson. Suarez continuing to fall behind. Bowyer and Hamlin side by side for fourth. Suarez loose coming off of the corner there. Still side by side for fourth down the back. Reagan on the back bumper of Bowman. That was an aggressive move on the start by Bowman to take the lead. Reagan on his back bumper as we cycle through the field. Everybody trying to find a lane to run to get some grip. Kligerman on the inside of Johnson, bit of contact! And he is almost around. Will Johnson save it? He will. Good save by the 48, but now the entire field is stacking up behind. 3 wide in the middle of the field there. Elliott and Larson getting into it. Jones stuck in the middle. Very close battle. Suarez sideways into Larson. They save it. Contact between Almirola and Larson. This race is insane. Stenhouse on the inside of Almirola can't get there. Still beating and banging off of each other in the back of the pack. This is some insanity in the midfield, excuse me. Still 3 wide between these top guys. Or mid guys. Elliott trying to get by Truex on the middle lane. Suarez with a dangerous chop block on Elliott. Can't quite clear. Beating and banging even more down the back straightaway. And they're still going at it in the midfield. Currently, Bowman continuing to lead over Reagan. Not much is going on in the top of the field, so might as well focus on this action in the back of the pack. And they're racing like it's the last lap for the lead. Dibby's still stuck in the middle between these guys. Down the front stretch they go. Bit of lag there. Dibby and Elliott make contact going into the corner. This is really scary. They should have wrecked at least 4 times there. That was ridiculous. Dibby on the back bumper of Jones coming off of the corner. And now Reagan to the race lead. Passes Bowman. Bowyer looking for second. Bowyer has won a race this season. And all of these guys in the top 5, or excuse me, top 4, 3 of the 4 top 4 drivers have won a race haven't won a race this season. And that one car that has won a race is Bowyer, who is currently fighting Bowman for second. Close battle between them. Meanwhile, in the back, it's starting to calm down a little now that everybody's getting filtered out. That was a really scary start to the race. Reagan continuing to pull away. Bowyer is clear for second on Bowman. Kligerman up into the top 5. Hamlin falling back. Kligerman, with his win at the previous race at Rockingham, has shown a lot of pace at the short tracks. Been running up front. He ran up front at Phoenix. Was pretty good at a couple others too. Still going at it right now. For the time being, Reagan continuing to lead. Bowyer second, Bowman third, Castle fourth, and fifth is currently Kligerman, but I can't talk. Byron is really looking fast, trying to get to the inside of that 96 car down the back straightaway. Still going at it. Normally, at the previous couple of Richmond races, we would have probably had a caution at this rate because of how crazy that racing was in the back of the pack. Now, most of the field is single file with a couple groups of cars going side by side. Byron moves up into the top 5. Bowyer is trying to chase down the 38 for the race lead. Reagan has come close to winning a couple of times so far this season, and last season as well. I believe he only won 1 race in Season 6. Reagan, I believe, had his rookie season last year as well. Trying to have a breakout year. Currently, Castle might have a run on Bowman. Bowman is not looking fast. Even though he led some early laps, that 88 machine does not look like it's a very fast race car on this track. On the long run, at least, as they continue their run. 20 laps to go this time by. Down into turn 1. Although Bowman has just found a pretty good line to run, Castle ran a little too high. They're trying to experiment to find some grip around the racing line. Bowman's line seems a little poor in 3 and 4, but Bowman has found some pace in 1 and 2. Found the zone with the best grip, and is right on the back bumper of Bowyer. Currently still a little bit of chaos going on in the back, but still not nearly as much as there was earlier on in the race, in the first set of laps. Excuse me, that was 10 to go, I believe. Well, no. No, that was 20 to go. So currently a battle for 4th right now between 3 cars, Castle, Byron, and Kligerman. All trying to go at it for 4th. Byron right on the back bumper of that 00. So far today, we've had technically 3 leaders total. Suarez counts as one of them since he was the pole sitter, but immediately lost the lead after Bowman almost turned him on the first lap. Not the way he wanted to open the race for that 41 team. Castle continuing to hold on to 4th. Bowman still searching for grip. Most of these guys are searching, running like a half lane up, a quarter lane down. Just little increments trying to find the slightest amount of grip that'll help them in this race. Byron holding on to his top 5 spot. Kligerman in 6th. So your top running order right now, with Reagan 1st, Bowyer 2nd, Bowman 3rd, Castle 4th, Byron 5th, 6th is Kligerman, 7th Blaney, 8th is Hamlin, Ninth is a battle between 9th and 10th. Stenhouse falls back to 10th, and Harvick will move up into 9th. And now Jones is looking to pass Stenhouse for the 10th position. Try to take over that top 10 spot. Pretty much the entire field is single file now, only a couple moves going on towards the midfield, being Stenhouse falling back. Johnson also trying to experiment with some lanes. He's running a little higher in the corners, but trying to cut down, but now he's on the inside of Stenhouse, so we'll see how that one goes. Still side by side. Buscher trying to find some pace as well, looking around the track. Looks like he's actually going to try to run high to get around Johnson. That is not going to work. Here comes Elliott to the inside of the 37 for that spot, which is currently 13th. And he will get that spot. Elliott, who opened up the season pretty strong, slowly fading back in the standings later on in this race. Excuse me for the pause there, I had to check a message. Anyways, it's top 5, 6, all the way back to 8th. Hasn't changed in a while. Not much action going on anywhere. Richmond normally has the opening stint of the race is normally a lot stronger than the latter half. Still a good run for these top 4. Byron dropping off a little. These top 4 seem to have some cars that are just a level or two ahead of those other cars behind them. Slightly pulling away. Currently, Castle running a little high in 1 and 2, trying to run the high line. Will we have pit stops, though? Pit stops sign up to be a thing, but Bowman is going for second, and that was an easy pass for the 88. He just drove around the 14. Everybody else is starting to catch the leaders. Although only just a little, the top 5 to 6. Top 5 are a little bit ahead of 6, and then 6 is a bit of a ways ahead of 7. So this front group of cars is really going at it. Reagan has led almost every lap of this race since around lap 10, probably. That's when he first took the lead, and he has held it since that point in the race. Down the back stretch, and onto the front stretch now. Reagan continuing to lead, but that gap is closing between the 88 and 38. Bowman with a quick car, currently running towards the back in standings, trying to get a resurgence to this season. He did win a championship, but then started to fade off a little bit. Last season was not a good season for the 88, ran around 15th in the standings. Trying to have a recovery season with just a couple laps to go currently. It'll be 3 laps to go this time by. 3 more laps around Richmond. Can Bowman pass the 38 of Reagan? It'll come down to the wire. Bowman running a little high, got loose in the backwash from that 38. Bowyer right on the back bumper. 2 laps to go at Richmond for David Reagan, who is currently running, I believe he was in 3rd in standings entering this race. Off turn number 2, and down the back straightaway they go. Can Bowman pass the dominant car to win this race? I don't think we have ever had a last lap pass for the win at Richmond. White flag in the air one more time around. No cautions. This will be 2 races in a row, I believe, either 2 or 3. That will be caution-free down into 3 and 4 for the final time. David Reagan is going to come off of turn 4 and win the Toyota Owners 350. Checkered flag, David Reagan to victory lane at Richmond. So now you'll take a look at your finishing order. Reagan first, Bowman second, Bowyer third, Byron fourth, Kligerman fifth, Blaney sixth, seventh Hamlin, 8th Harvick, 9th Castle, 10th is Jones, 11th Stenhouse, 12th Johnson, 13th Elliott, 14th Truex, 15th Suarez, 16th Busher, 17th Almirola, 18th DiBenedetto, 19th Keselowski, and last will be Kyle Larson, who has not really been much of a threat this season. So the point standings after race 9, Kevin Harvick holds the race lead, or points lead, excuse me, with his win. David Reagan, with that win, moves up into second, ahead of, I believe it was Suarez in second. My memory's terrible. Harvick's points lead doesn't shrink too much, thanks to him finishing fairly well. So he will end up in that first position still. Only lost about 7 points on second place. Reagan trying to chase him down as we will approach the final race of the first half of the season, which will be Daytona. So that will be interesting to see. Pretty decent race. Daytona will have probably a lot of crashes. The 500 this year was pretty good, so we'll see if that race is decent. Or at the very least, it'll probably be good, but it might be a bit of a wreck fest. We will see shortly. So, thank you for watching coverage of the Toyota Owners 350 at Richmond, and we will see you in the next installation of this series at Daytona.